Look at this. UFO lens sighted in the vicinity of EOS M mount. Interceptors immediate launch. Dum 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 da da dum 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 da 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 dum. This is it. I've actually got the 7 Artisans UFO lens for the M50, and I've been using it for how long now? Almost a month, I'd say. Not quite, but almost a month. 7 Artisans 18mm pancake lens. Come on, focus on the camera. Look at that profile. That's the M50. Just when you thought the M50 couldn't get any smaller, look at that, man. It is a fixed lens, prime lens. There is no focusing on this lens. You cannot focus the lens. It is just like a, what do you call it, a cell phone, you know, cell phone lens. It just focuses to infinity. And I thought I'd try it out because I needed an 18mm, which is 28 in full frame equivalent, because I like shooting 28. And the only way I could get 18mm on this was with a zoom lens. I've got a kit 18 to 55, but it's a bit long. I haven't got it here. Otherwise, I should have had it here, really, shouldn't I? But it is a bit long, and it's a bit bulky. And the whole reason, or my whole reason for wanting to use an M50, or using an M50 for street photography, is that it's small. And if you put a big lens on it, then it's not small. And I'm an opportunist street photographer, so I have my camera around my neck at all times. And the smaller it is, the better. Because then, you know, I can't feel the weight and I don't notice it's there. And I can just get on with my daily activities with it being around my neck. I'm used to using the 35, the 22, which is a 35mm equivalent. That's quite small. But look how small the UFO lens is to this. Look, can you see? I mean, since I got the UFO lens, which cost about, how much was it? About 80 quid. It wasn't that much. 80 quid, something like that. It's under 100 anyway. Since I've got it, I've had it on most of the time. You know, I was a bit concerned that you can't focus it. And I was a bit concerned that it's 6.3 aperture. The aperture 6.3. I would have preferred it to be f8, being, you know, street photography, we like f8. You know, that deep doff. But it's 6.3, what can you do? I thought, let me try it. That kind of puts my shutters off a bit. My shutter settings that I like to use, because I like to shoot at 320th of a second at f8, or if it's bright, f11, or if it's blue sky, f16 even. You know, unheard of. Everybody on YouTube seems to want to shoot at f2 and 1.4 and blurry background and all that. Street photography, or classic street photography I should say, is the opposite of that. We want deep doff. We want to tell the story in the frame. So we want the background and the foreground and the midground and everything to be part of it. And yeah, let's get back to this lens. I thought, let me buy it. I've seen it for a while, and I thought, let me give it a try and see if I like it. And I'm going to put some pictures up, as you do. And I would give it my thumbs up, to be honest. It took a while for me to get used to it, not having to, although I do zone focus normally. You don't even have to zone focus with this. You just look through and click the button, look through, click the button. It is so small. Let me show you how small it is, because I don't think you can really appreciate it until you see the side profile. Look at this. Look at that. It's a wafer. Can you even see it? Let's see if we can get it to focus on it. It's a blimmin' wafer. Look, it is a real UFO. A flying saucer. It's got a tiny little lens in the middle. Hopefully you can see that. Tiny little lens, look, almost like a pinhole. Look at the back. It's got no electronics on it. It's just a lens on a piece of metal. This, I think it's metal. Feels like metal. And it's got all these crazy dial markings on it to make it, you know, look ooh, otherworldly. Ooh. It looks like something from, I don't even know, from ye Roman times or something. But I don't think them symbols actually mean anything. It's just a design. But it just shows you what's possible, you know. And shame on Canon, that's what I would say. Because I've been waiting for an 80mm pancake to the 22. Show the 22 in comparison. Yeah, and it's focusing on my face. Come on, focus. Focus. This is my 22, which is my previous favorite street photography EFM lens, because it's small. And look at the difference. Can you see that? Wow. Both of them have got a little small lens. But this one is autofocus. This can open up to f2, which is handy. So when it gets kind of dark, I switch to this. During the daylight, I'm using this 6.3 aperture, fixed focusing, no electronics. It's just basically a lens on a piece of metal. But it's great. And what I've noticed about it, because there's no electronics on it, when you switch the M50 on, it just comes on like that. Before, when you switch the M50 on with these, it's got to communicate with the lens, and it's got to do a little thing, and a couple of, maybe a second or two before it actually shows up. I'm noticing with this, I can switch it off, switch it on, and it's ready, and it will just fire, clack, you know. So I am really liking this lens. If you are into street photography, or even if you're into, you know, you just want to point and shoot, but with the quality of an M50, an APS-C lens, sensor. This, I'm telling you, is the way to go. Canon is stupid. Canon should have done this a long time ago. They've let a third party have to come in and make their excellent small camera even more excellent. Yeah, and I've noticed that since they brought out the R system, the R10, I've been looking at R10, believe it or not, because they brought out the 16mm that they should have brought out for the M50. They've brought it out as an R lens for the R10. Can you believe that? Same pancake size like this, you know, but they've just left us EFM users in the lurch. So now, you know what? I'm sticking with my M50, you know. I don't feel the need to go to a R10 just to get that lens. M50 is doing it. So let me see. The pros are it's small, it's light, it doesn't have any electrical connection with the camera, as I said, so you can switch it on and switch it off, and it just comes on really quick, you know, and it's ready for action. You just press the button, done. Image quality wise, it does vignette quite a bit, but I actually like that. It kind of frames your subject with the dark corners around the edges. You'll see when I put the images up. So I do kind of like that. So is that a pro or a con? I think for me that's a pro. It frames your image. It's not as sharp, I would say, as the Canon lens, the EFM 22. It's not as sharp, but sharpness, you know, sharpness isn't everything, you know. If you draw a picture with a blunt pencil, is that picture any less than a picture that's drawn with a sharp pencil? It's art, you know. So every brush has its stroke, and every artist has its stroke, and every piece of art speaks through its lens or its medium or its brush or whatever. So I quite like this. I like the look of it. I like the vignetting of it, and it has its own optical signature. This has its own optical signature, the UFO optical signature, which I'm getting used to. So I'm going to throw some images up. Oh yeah, there is another con. If you shoot into the sunlight, you get these funny colors, these funny chromatic aberration. I don't even know if it's chromatic aberration. It is in the sense, in the word chromatic aberration, but not like how you normally expect it. It has these funny colored lights that kind of like mess up the image. So if you're going to get this lens, shooting into the sun, is a no-no. It's not going to work. But other than that, I'm pretty impressed with it. I love the size. It's breathed a new lease of life into my M50 because, as I said, I was thinking about going R10. Not anymore. So Canon, stupid move. Stupid move. Anyway, let's look at some images. I'm going to throw up some images and you can see for yourself. I just been clack, clack, clack. It's really enjoyable. This is really now an extra fun camera to use thanks to this lens. Anyway, roll the images. So there it is. There it is. Excellent. 7 Artisans. Thumbs up. I was actually going to get the 17mm. They've got a 17mm with a proper focusing lens. But then I thought, you know what? Let's bite the bullet and go full UFO on this. So yeah, proper things. So people, ain't nothing to it but to do it. Just get it. Just get it. I mean, just try it. If you don't like it, then 80 quid. Worthwhile investment, I think. This is now pocketable. You can put this in your pocket now. So just get it. Don't waste time. Just get it. Zoom. Done.